I think this naturally leads us into a segment we call Eat, Pray, Dunk. Eat, Pray, Dunk is basically just like the confluence of culture and wellness and health and food and off the court activities. So I want to talk to you about the tech stuff. I want to talk to you about golf. We're going to ask you some food and wine stuff. This will be a shorter segment, and we'll get you out of here. But before we get to the tech stuff, I think we talked about this on the podcast we did 3 years ago, but you've been involved in two of the, and actually three just like insane transactions. When you got traded from Philly to Denver, that was a 4-team deal. Dwight was involved. But the deal that got you to Golden State, because I had heard that you were going to SAC, and they had actually offered you more money than Golden State, but Golden State pulled this like 3-team trade with Utah. I think Denver was involved on that one again for a sign and trade. The strategy would take us through that, by the way, that free agency, that was 2013. But the strategy there was your thinking then, this is an opportunity for business by signing with this team?
So that was kind of twofold. So, just going through at that point, almost seeing everything on the business side of basketball. So, like getting traded, like that changes your career. Not changes your career, but it changes how you think about the game. That can weigh on you. So I got traded during the Olympics, you know what I mean? Like, and that's supposed to be a moment where, you're locked in, you're playing for your country. This is right before the semifinals, and then I'm like, I want to play. Like, it don't bother me. I want to play. And then the head, Coach K, I know he's thinking like, where's this guy's head at? Like, playing for USA, you can't lose, unless it's exhibition play, I guess now. I don't know how that's working, but Pum. But
shots fired.
Those are my guys though. No, but like you can't lose playing for Team USA. And it's like, this is a shining moment for me. Like, you may never get this moment again. And it's like, I know the coach is thinking like, where's this guy's head at? Like, I can't risk playing him, so like that bothered me too. And then, Drew Holiday's there with watching his wife. I'm just watching her win the gold medal and I'm with him. And I'm like, can't wait till next year. We're going to ball out. We're going to be better. We just took Boston in 7 games to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Nobody thought we would get that far. And he was like, wait, hold on. I got a text saying you might get traded. So now you learning like, yo, this is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that happening. And then going to Denver, and then the coach getting fired right after the the day after the season. It's like, yo, this is crazy. And then like just kind of seeing how the game has been working. I'm like, yo, I just want to enjoy basketball. So I actually invited the Warriors to a meeting. And it was like, Bob Myers, they're like, we don't have any cap space. And I was like, well, I just want to let y'all know, like, I want to really enjoy just playing basketball. And how a coach is based on how the other guys are playing. That. Like, oh, they really like their coach. Like, you can tell just by how they're playing, how they're interacting. I'm like, yo, I want to play for them. And Pete Myers, I had seen around Chicago working out there in the summer. He was assistant coach. He was always giving me praises. I'm like, man, I want to be with this staff. Like, that's what it was. So Sacramento did offer them probably the most. Sacramento and Detroit. Detroit was like, we're taking you or Josh Smith, whoever picks us first. Josh chose him first. And then Sac was like, all right, we got a deadline midnight tonight because we don't want you to leverage our deal. All right, understood, respect. And that was a new GM, Pete D'Alessandro. He came from Denver. Cool dude. It's like, all right, cool. Weigh my options. Like, I don't want to rush to any decision. I was actually going to go with Dallas. Dallas was the spot. Like, I want to go play in Dallas. Big fan of Mark. Mark and I were talking about the show he's on, Shark Tank. We talking about a chip in the golf ball. He probably doesn't even remember this. I was like, should I invest in the golf ball with a chip in it so you can never lose the golf ball? He was like, mess with the integrity of the ball, blah, blah, blah. And telling me how the show runs, right? So I'm like, I'm going to Dallas. I know they want to win. I like how they take care of their players who win championships, and then that was that long ago. And we're seeing how it's holding up true with what they're doing for all their guys. And so I was going to Dallas, and then Michael Finley, I worked out with him. Now he's in the front office. So I worked out with him in Chicago when he was playing, had a good relationship with him. I told him I'm in. Dwight Howard decides to stall everybody with what he was going to do. So Dwight helped me. No one knows that. Dwight was, everyone knew he was going to Houston, but for some reason he was like, I'm going to see Dallas. So Mark Cuban was like, yo, it's a generational talent, which Dwight is. Like, people don't put enough respect on Dwight's game. And they were like, we got to give Dwight the respect, and we got to give him a meeting because now we are on his list. So that took us from like, that was like a Friday, and he would say, I'm gonna make my decision on a Monday or whatever, or over the weekend.
He flew to Aspen for the weekend. I remember this.
Wow.
It was July. He flew to Aspen for July 4th weekend. Yeah.
That's the white light, though. We know that's the white light.
Yeah.
So I'm working out with Evan Turner on Monday. Evan's like my guy. I'm working out with Evan Monday morning in LA. I never forget. And get a call from Rob Pelinka, who's my agent. He's been talking to Bob Myers. They've concocted some madness. And Rob knew I wanted to go to the Warriors. And I had already been doing my tech stuff, but I really wanted to enjoy playing basketball. We didn't think it would really happen, but they came up with something. It was like, we got 3-team trade, sign and trade. He was like, you're signing with Denver, but that doesn't, like, the contract's going to say Denver Nuggets, but they're trading it. And I think he thought it might have bothered me, just kind of how things ended. I'm like, no, like, I don't care. Like, the checks don't cash the same, and I'm going where I want to go with it. So I committed. He was like, you got to commit. Like, you can't change your mind. Like, you got to commit right now, or we can't do it. So I'm like, cool, let's do it. And then from there, we just hit the ground running on the tech side, because I had already been trying to get my foot in the door there. I was doing it on the public market side, and I was trying to get on the private market side.
I love this little Dallas anecdote. NBA what ifs are so fun to me.